October 7th, 2015. Wednesday. 8 p.m. Tomigaya, Shibuya. Alba Clinic. Oh, wait, this is where Kurisu lives, right? And where I used to live before I moved into my fucking trailer. A 2-minute walk from Yoyogi Park Station. This private clinic, 20 minutes away from the heart of Shibuya, was loved by the locals for its homely, comfortable atmosphere. The clinic offered internal and pediatric medical services. It had no facilities to allow someone to stay overnight. The wait was 10 minutes at worst. Some days it was more common to find the director's drinking buddies there telling bawdy jokes than it was to find patients. The only full-time doctor was the clinic's director. He had 2 nurses. The only times it ever got busy were during flu shot season, when the director's neighborhood baseball team had its annual tournament. Strange. If it's not here. The clinic's 2nd floor. This floor, with its living room, kitchen and bath, and the 3rd floor with the rooms for the children, formed the localized small-scale children's center welfare facility named Alba Dormitory. There was no sign identifying it outside, so if you just walked by the building, you'd have no way to know that the upper floors were an orphanage. Ah! This really stings. It's not here either. Hey! No! Just a little more. No! Where's the medicine? Ah! Wataru Sakuma, the director of the Alba Clinic and Alba Dormitory, looked at the dinner lined up on the table and froze. Boiled vegetables, whitefish with plum, tofu hamburger steak, natto, rolled omelette with shiso leaves. The oldest girl at the dorm had been in charge of cooking ever since she came here, when she was in 6th grade. Every year she started cooking more and more like an old woman. Listen, you're not a grandmother. Cook some meat. You can ask for meat after you get rid of all that meat around your stomach. I don't want to be in charge of keeping your blood pressure down once you get old. We've got growing kids in this family. Damn it. Sakuma pressed his hands up against his temples and rubbed them. What's wrong? I can't find the loxaprofen. Do you know where it is? What? Do you have a headache? Yeah. I think... Wait a second, do you have a hangover? Sakuma moaned a little. Kurisu smiled gently at him, still holding the kitchen knife. Dad, it's bad enough that you, the head of the household and director of this clinic, are asking me where the medicine is, and I'm not even a nurse trainee. But you're telling me you have a hangover? Were you drinking last night when I was finishing up the paperwork? No, I was working too. And you were drinking during work. I see. I don't have any medicine to give to drunks. And also no drinking for a week. Hey, no, you're kidding! It's all done. Call the 2 of them. Thank you. It was very good. Thank you. That was a boy? Must be a young boy. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I'll make some tea. You, help me. The little brother nodded, and together they took the plates the 4 of them had been eating onto the kitchen. It was their job to clean up. Yui Tachibana and Yuto Tachibana were brother and sister. I feel like I've heard the name Tachibana from somewhere and I can't remember where. I think it's from a different series. They were the only two siblings at the Alba dorm who were actually related by blood, and the rest of the neighbor thought it was cute how they were always together. The Shibuya earthquake had occurred when Yui was in 2nd grade and Yuto was only 6 and hadn't started school. After the earthquake, the two of them had come to the Alba dorm. Two of them had been depressed for a long time between the shock of losing their parents and their experiences in the earthquake's aftermath. Now they made it to the 2nd year of middle school for Yui and to the last year of elementary school for Yuto. No, you can eat dinner without me tomorrow. During the meal, Sakamura complained about Nono's ban on his drinking, but Yui told him that he brought it upon himself. He spent the rest of the dinner muttering to herself, but by now he'd calmed down a little. I've been so busy lately, you see.
No, it's a pain to warm it up again. And I don't like it when anybody eats separately. I want us all to eat as a family as much as possible. Why are you so busy?
Kurisu checked the clock as she spoke. It was almost 9. Alba Clinic closes at 6:30. It was often after 7 by the time Sakamura had finished his paperwork and come up the stairs. Kurisu would have dinner ready around that time. But it was true that lately he'd been coming up later and later. Sakamura shrugged and said he wasn't sure why exactly, but the clinic one of my old university buddies runs in Shibuya is busy too. And the big hospitals around here, like AH Tokyo General Hospital and Yoyogi, for instance, have all also been really busy. No?
Oh, sorry. And?
Well, there are a lot of theories. Some people say it's because people are excited for the festival and hurting themselves. Others say it's because they're starting to look into that syndrome again.
They're looking into it again? After 6 years?
The only thing that's really fixed in this town's exterior. You can't fix what's in here so easily. Sakuma patted himself on the chest. My patients are the same as ever, but my old classmates and the other people I know are sending me a lot of people. Makes my shoulders really stiff. As her father rotated his shoulders to stretch them, Nono told him he was doing a good job. He normally looked like a goofball, but Kurisu knew when he was reliable when it was counted. Alba Clinic was far enough Shibuya that it hadn't been damaged during the quake and had so remained opened. She'd heard that Sakuma had taken in patients with minor wounds, a field that was outside of his specialty, and treated them. When she helped with the clinic's front desk, the patients would often tell her grateful tales about what he'd done then.
What's with this pear? It was on sale at Paula Nishino. Let's eat!
Yui and Yuto come back from the kitchen with tea and a sliced pear. She stuck a toothpick into a slice as she spoke.
It's so sweet and good! Oh, Yui, did you buy some ponzu? It's as cheap as it gets today, right? Yep! The sale's limited to 1 per person, so I took you when we brought 2. Oh, right. I saw our usual supermarket changing the hours for its time sales. No way! It's going to be an hour later, they say. That's a problem. How should we handle dinner shopping then? Oh, Furuba or bath soap? The one with the white package. I'm waiting for the weekend sale. Where at? Aoki Pharmacy. I've got a coupon. Really? That's great! Oh, did you see the veranda? The corner where we hang the laundry? Huh? What? There's mold. And? If we don't do something, we'll eventually get red mites. No! I don't want to have age either. Actually, I want it less than anyone. What is your problem? Does your throat hurt? You have a cold? How is that possible? You're a doctor, right? Just remember that it's our job to take care of you, right? Doing the laundry is already hard enough since you sweat so much. Lose some weight, okay? Do you know how much we spend on feeding you alone each month?
Sakuma slammed his teacup down on the desk. He'd reached the limits of his patience. No, Yui. We need to talk. Sit down.
We are sitting down.
Listen up, you two. Sakuma pressed down on his temples as he wondered where to begin. It felt like his headache was getting worse. But in the end, he couldn't come up with any ideas to it except to say it directly. Can you two act a little more like kids?
Huh?
The two of them looked at him as if they didn't know what he was talking about. No. What's your hobby?
What's this all about?
Just answer me. What's your hobby?
Cleaning my room.
And you, Yui?
Collecting supermarket sale pamphlets.
The two of them kept eating their pear slices, unsure of what he was getting at. And then they continued the conversation, saying, what's his problem? It must be terrible getting old. Sit down. Sit.
We are sitting.
Why are you two acting like housewives at your age? Sales? Food budgets? Is this what kids are supposed to talk about?
It's your idea to put us in charge of the chores.
Kurosu ran the Alba Dome's budget and Yui helped her. I'm telling you to have a little more fun. Go to concerts, buy clothes.
What? I don't need to. I can listen to music on the internet.
I'm shaking my head, Yui. As a man that goes to many a concert now that the world is slightly starting to open up, I'm judging you harshly.
I get all my clothes at the flea markets. When I can't find ones I like, I make them myself.
You're both too perfect. You'll never get boyfriends like this.
I'm not interested in the immature boys in my class. Everyone idolizes Big Sis Nono in middle school. Do they?
Of course, Yui nodded. Yui went to Hekiho Academy's middle school, which was located close to the academy itself. The high school and middle school did a lot of activities together, and Kurosu had gone to the latter before as part of her student council president job. Kurosu chuckled.
In high school, they mostly seem scared of me.
You don't even have a boyfriend? Never heard you talk about guys.
I'm not interested in the immature boys in my class. What? The boys in your class are the same way? Boys our age are the same no matter how old they are.
Kurosu sipped her tea with a smirk. You and your brother complex. Thank God someone noticed! And then she spat it out like she'd been struck with a bullet.
Big Sis Nono, are you okay? You, get me a tissue.
Okay. Kurosu coughed as she took the tissue from Yui, then wiped down the desk.
Don't be weird.
Her face was bright red as she yelled at Sakuma. You care too much about Takeru. No other boys will go after you if you act like that.
That's not true. I mean, they aren't, but...
Kurusu waved her hand, annoyed.
Anyway, he's... Big sis Nono?
Kurusu threw the tissue in the garbage can without answering. About you, Yuto. I remember Yui saying something about a girl named Kono in your class.
That's not true.
I mean, it is true, but... Now it was Yuto's turn to turn red.
That's right, what happened with that? It was a love letter, right? There's secrets, remember? Tell me.
Yuko shrank back into his chair, his tiny body becoming even smaller, and then he nodded. Yui leaned forward, excited.
And? Tokuda... Hmm? Tokuda found out and...
Yu's expression switched from jovial to serious.
What? Did he tease you?
After a short pause, Yuto nodded.
You need to speak up when someone accepts you. If you get used to being bullied, it eventually messes you up.
Yeah.
But if he teases you again, tell your big sister. I'll get him back. Yui, a girl shouldn't talk like that.
You'll want to talk.
What does that mean?
There were 2 rules in Albadorm. After dinner, everyone would gather around the table to talk. No one was allowed to keep secrets. When Sakuma decided to open an orphanage after the earthquake, he first picked the name Albadorm, and the second thing he decided were those rules. The 4 of them talked until around 10 PM when Yuto started to yawn. Telling each other about their daily lives was how they kept themselves grounded.
I'm coming in.
Kurusu entered the empty room, knowing there wouldn't be an answer. She started by wiping down the desk, and then moved on to do the rest of the cleaning the same way she always did. Nothing had changed in the room since Miyashiro had left. It was still filled with books, papers, and DVDs. Home was the place where Kurusu felt the most calm and relaxed. It was where she could be herself and be with her family. Her favourite time of the day was after dinner. It wasn't that she was uncomfortable at Hekiho, but her personality was such that she always felt like she had to put her job first. And she liked the role she had at home with her family more than she liked the role she had with the outside world. As she cleaned the bookshelf, she saw a scrapbook. She'd seen it many times before, but she put it on the desk and started to flick through the pages.
Takeru?
The book was filled with information on urban legends and crimes that had taken place in Shibuya. And on the last page was a collection of magazine and newspaper articles. The magazine article was dated about 6 months ago, just before Miyashiro had left home. And the newspaper article from 6 years ago, it was about the Shibuya earthquake. This was why Miyashiro had left home and gone to live at Miyashita Park. The dates match exactly with the dates of the murders 6 years ago. They may be set up to look like suicides, but they're every bit as weird as the old killings.
You're going to be killed, Takeru Miyashiro.
Something might be coming for him. Or maybe Takara was getting involved in something. As his older sister, she had to protect her little brother. But... Can I? Can I face what happened 6 years ago? There was a knock at the door. She tried to take a few deep breaths to calm herself before she spoke. Who's there? It's me. I'm coming in. Why do you look like you're about to cry? Huh? She quickly put her hand up to her face. She wasn't crying. She took a quick breath to help her focus. What's wrong? You were acting a little weird during dinner. Was I? Sakuma looked over at the scrapbook on the desk. Did he do something again? His voice was the father's. Kurosu put the scrapbook back on the shelf. Yeah. Or no, I guess he hasn't yet, but he might do soon. He hasn't changed a bit. After the cops took him in at the Love Hotel, you tried to get him to stop, right? Kurosu nodded, remembering what had happened in the hallway that day. But he doesn't seem like he's going to stop. That's rare. He usually does what you tell him. That's because I didn't really... What? What's wrong? Sakuma sensed that something was wrong with Kurosu and sat down on the bed. He motioned for her to speak. Dad? How did he start opening up to me? I mean, the rest of the family. Hmm? You know, when he woke up from his coma and started his rehabilitation, he would barely talk to us at all, right? That was true of Yui and Yuto too, right? And you too, actually. We're not talking about me. I don't remember that far back. And is there ever really a single reason for things like that? But he crossed his arms and seemed to be trying to remember the past. Soon. I don't know when he first started opening up, but I do remember the first day he ate dinner with us. Oh. Kurosu realized that she remembered too. Even after he started his physical therapy and learned to walk again, for a while he kept eating dinner alone in his room. Sakuma had told him that everyone was supposed to meet to talk after dinner, but he used his poor health as an excuse to stay in his room. I remember that. What happened with that, actually? I think it was what you said. Huh? Remember how you helped with his physical therapy? You said he was a part of this family, so you would take care of him. Yeah. Miyashiro had refused, but she told him that there was no reason for him to be embarrassed now. She'd been in charge of cleaning his catheter while he was in a coma after all. And you started spending even more time with him. You've had that good brother complex of yours for a long time. I told you, it's not like that. And then when he was finally able to do everything on his own, and you came to me and asked if it wasn't time for him to remember to go to school, do you remember what you said? Kurosu tried to think, but she couldn't remember herself saying anything special. I guess he didn't go to school a lot before, but I'll make it so he can.
If anyone bullies him, I'll get them back. You're kidding!
She didn't remember that at all. It's true. Remember what Yui just said? She definitely got it from you. You used to have an even sharper tongue than you do now. And he wasn't in the room, but he heard you say that. And that was the day he started eating with us. Well, he didn't go to school after all that much, but even if he spent most of his time in the nurse's office, it was still thanks to you that he was able to graduate. As she listened to Sakuma's words, she could feel the terror that had been building inside her heart start to fade away. Instead, she felt a mixture of confidence, nostalgia, and joy.
Did I say that? Big sis Nono? What are you doing?
What about you two? What are you doing?
You was going to the bathroom, but then we heard you talking. I see.
She smiled a little at Yuto's embarrassment. He couldn't go to the bathroom on his own at night. He'd been shy and always spent most of his time clinging to Yui, but the earthquake had given him mild scotophobia as well. I almost read that schizophrenia. That's wrong. Scotophobia.
Hey, do you two want Takaru to come back? Of course, we're a family. Yeah. We're doing all the cleaning that was Big Bro Takaru's job.
And the shopping too.
Oh, that too! I forgot.
Kurusu laughed and looked around her missing brother's room, at her family. There was no changing what happened 6 years ago now.
Yui? If anybody's mean to Yuto, get them back. Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
She would just have to protect her family, so that they could live together again. Kurusu took out her smartphone and left the room, leaving her uncertainty behind.
Are they gone?
Sariko was sitting with her legs crossed on the cold floor, looking up at me. I put my ear up to the door and tried to see if there was anyone outside. It's safe. No one's there.
Let's give up and go home. My butt's starting to hurt.
How about I give you a little lecture? A few years ago I saw this. I think it was on the news. There was a guy who was in a bathroom and the lock was broke and he got stuck inside for 2 days. When they saved him, they asked what it was like to be locked in the room for 2 days. And he said, "I'm glad there was a toilet."
There's 2 of us in here, so I can't go to the bathroom.
Ugh. Damn it, she was right for once. But she was right. I was reaching my mental limits too. It was past 10 now, which means we spent more than 2 hours locked inside the bathroom. We were on the 5th floor of the AH Tokyo General Hospital, in the women's toilet near the lobby. We learned in the club room this morning that the creator of the sumo stickers was here. Sarah and I had come to the hospital right after that. Each floor of the hospital had different sections, and each section had its own lobby. So we were able to go around each floor and gather information by talking to the people there. Well, it was mostly Serica that did the talking. And then we heard there was someone in a private room on the back of the 5th floor who drew a lot of creepy pictures. I'd gotten excited. The person drawing the pictures might know something. But there was a problem. Namely, the ward they were staying in. Is it the psychiatric ward? There were 2 wards on the 5th floor. The first was the the first was the gastroenterological ward, straight down the hall from the lobby. But to get to the place where you wanted to go, you needed to take a right from the lobby and go to the psych ward. To meet with the patients in psych ward, you needed permission from the patient and the hospital. If you weren't there to meet someone, you wouldn't be allowed in. While we were sitting in the lobby trying to come up with a plan, visiting hours for the psych ward ended. Then hours for the gastroenterological ward ended too, and we had no good excuse for being there any longer. And that's how we got to where we were now. If I hadn't taken Serica's advice and chosen to hide in the women's restroom where the stalls were inevitably in use more often, someone would have gotten suspicious of us a long time ago. No, maybe they already were suspicious. Damn it, I wanted to get some more information before we left. When Ito saw the pair in the pictures at the club room, he proposed we start investigating them immediately. But I decided to temporarily leave that to him and visit the hospital. I didn't tell Ito where I was going or why. If he knew I was putting my priority on verifying information on a homepage run by a crazy man with no sources even given, he'd make fun of me. But I couldn't let that stop me But I couldn't stop thinking about it. That's why I wanted to find something. My phone suddenly started to vibrate. Kurisu? I frowned when I saw that name. Damn, another time like this too.
Taku?
Taku? You're not going to answer it? Serica seemed to say silently. I decided to ignore the phone call. You're sure? I don't exactly have a choice. I'm sure if I answered it, she'd just be annoyed again. Whatever it was, chances are it wasn't exactly something I wanted to hear. And I couldn't exactly hold a conversation right now. Oh, just what I wanted to see as I was about to come into this door. A good or a bad? You know, there's times for... See, I'm conflicted, because on one hand, I do feel like if I don't do either option, I'm missing out on content. On the other hand, like, I feel like sometimes walking down the straight and narrow is the way that you need to play this game. Like, none of the bullshit, we just need to see what's in front of me. I'm conflicted either way. 2 hours, huh? I'd know being quiet and doing nothing was so tiring. Serica had her arms crossed over her knees. She looked upset. Was I imagining it, or has she been really fidgety over the past 10 minutes? Okay, it could be an opportunity to be horny with Serica again. In which case, you know. No, we're gonna sit with normal, I think. It's weird. Never thought I'd be spending hours in the girls' bathroom stall with you at this age. The hell's that supposed to mean? Don't say that. Just hang in a little longer. I can if you want. Okay, I know what I said.
でもこれ以上粘っても
But I don't think there's much of a point to this.
Serica sighed a little. I looked away from her. I was starting to fidget a little. Maybe because we've been talking about going to the bathroom.
Taku.
Taku!
Serica sighed a little and slowly stood up.
さ、ちょっと相談があるんだけど。
I need to ask you something.
相談
Ask me something? What was this about? Serica seemed really uneasy.
さっき遺跡ぶった話あったでしょ
Remember your lecture a moment ago?
あ
Oh, yeah.
私言ったよね
I said that we couldn't go to the bathroom
私た
because
ち
there
二
were
人
two
だ
of
から
us.
トイレできないじゃんって
I already don't like where this is going, but please continue.
言ったそれが
You did? And?
やっぱり
No,
なんでもない
never mind.
Serica's head dropped. For some reason, it looked like she was about to cry. She was clutching the hem of her skirt tightly and shaking a little.
どうしたんだよ
What's wrong?
なんでもないって
It's nothing, really.
あだってなんか泣きそうな顔して
You
る
look
じゃ
like
ん
you're about to cry. Finally, she started to bite her lip as if she was trying to endure something. She really was acting weird. Serica normally didn't behave this way.
どうしたんだ
What's
言ってくれな
wrong?
いとわからない
If you don't tell me, I won't know. Do you need to pee, Serica? Is that what this is? I can, take a few minutes, I'm sure. Serica just shook her head from left to right. She wasn't even looking at me anymore. What was going on? I didn't understand at all. I'd never seen her like this before. Until just a moment ago, we were having a normal conversation. I grabbed her shoulder and peered into her eyes.
言ってくれ長い
Tell
付き合
me.
いだろ
We've known each other forever, right?
僕を信用できないのか
Can't you trust me? I feel like I should have picked something else. Maybe, as I said, stayed on the straight and narrow for once in my goddamn life. She shook her head even faster. And then at last she started to cry. Huh? I looked closer and saw that her cheeks were flushed red.
I can't take it anymore.
何が
What?
何が
What
ダメな
can't
んだ
you take?
お願い
Please, Taku. Turn the other way.
置いてて
Huh? And then Serica's body shook, violently, just once. Until a moment ago, she seemed to be suffering, but now she looked relieved and relaxed.
何なんだよ
What the heck? I suddenly looked down. She was still holding her skirt hem tightly. And there was a puddle at her feet. Not only that, her long knee socks were soaking wet. Was this?
まさかお前
You didn't.
見ないで
Don't look.
Serica begged me in a quiet voice.
こっち見ないで
Don't look at me.
I could smell a faint whiff of ammonia. It was obvious now what had happened.
なんでお前言わないんだ
Why didn't you say
なんで
something?
こうなるまで我慢
Why did you hold it in until this happened?
Because. the bathroom when there's two of us here?
タクがいるのに
I can't do it right in front of you, Taku.
ないじゃん
I feel like this could have been easily avoided. Also, how the hell was this good? If that happened, I wouldn't know how to react. But Sarika and I were in a situation where that could happen at any minute. Maybe it was time to go home after all. As that stupid idea crossed my mind.
ちょっと
Okay, let's go, Taku. We can come back tomorrow.
諦めて出直そうよ
Sarika stood up and rubbed her butt a little.
お前は気にならないのかよ。
It doesn't bother you?
え
Huh?
この病院は
This hospital is... This was the hospital we'd snuck into a long time ago, looking for an urban legend called Amy. In the end, we had to give up before we could figure it out, but if there was some connection between the sumo stickers and this hospital...
そりゃ気になるよ調べ
Sure,
られる
it
なら
bothers me.
調べたい
But if we can find something out, I'd like to.
でもこうなっちゃったらさ
Don't you think it's a better idea to give up now than come back tomorrow during
面会時間に
visiting hours and wait for another
入れるチ
chance?
ャンスを待った方が良くない
Meh.
それはまあ
Well, yeah.
今だったらこの階で
If we leave now, as long as they don't catch us on this floor, we can walk straight out, right?
This place had an ER, so it was open all night. And people would be going in and out. As long as we could get to the first floor lobby safely, we'd be able to walk right out. Damn it, maybe we didn't have a choice.
分かった。とりあえず
Fine, let's just... My phone vibrated again.
またか。
Again? Wait. I thought it was Kursu calling me, but it wasn't. I checked once again and there was no one in the restroom and answered the phone.
もしもし。
Hello?
おい、宮代。
Hey,
お
Miyashiro.
前、今どこ
Where are you at right now?
どうした
What's wrong?
副部長が事件を追うのはやめ
The
なさい
vice president wants us to stop chasing the case. She's pissed. Seriously?
今、あなたたちは何してるんだって。
She asked me what you two were doing right now.
てか、
Or more like she screamed at me. It was terrifying.
お前まさか
You didn't. Yeah, Ito said.
全部喋った。
I told her everything.
たら、
And then she said I needed to take down the camera.
いや、私
Then she changed her mind and said she was going to do it herself and hung up.
お前
Why didn't you keep your mouth shut? You know that's impossible, man.
部長に敬語だったぞ、俺。
Damn it, that coward. Well, I knew how he felt.
で、とりあえずお前のことは。
Anyway, I was told that there was something else that you were interested in, and they'd gone with Inoue to look at it.
それを調べ何してるか知らねえけど、
I don't know what you're doing, but apologize before she kills you. And answer the phone when she calls.
電話に出てやれ。
He hung up before I could say anything. It was clear that he wanted to stay out of this. With nothing else to do, I put away my phone.
のんちゃん元気出たんだよかった
So Non's feeling better. Good.
Sarika looked happy. She must have overheard the conversation.
いや分かった
No, it's not good.
でものんちゃん
But that's just like her.
Sarika nodded to herself, satisfied. She really did look happy.
お前どっちの味方なんだ
Whose side are you?
タクだよ
Yes,
タ
Taku.
クだってのんちゃんが元気
You don't
ない
want
の
Non to be
いい
sad,
でし
do
ょ
you?
そりゃ
Well,
いやいい
no, never mind.
タク行くの
Taku? We're leaving?
言っとくけど
Just so we're clear, I'm not giving up. I just didn't feel like I was going to find out anything more by staying here. I just come back tomorrow during visiting hours. And dodge Kurisu somehow. Okay. There was no one around. The nurse at the nurse's station was staring at her PC. If we crouched down, she couldn't see us. I motioned to Serica and we quietly left the bathroom and started for the lobby. We made it across and arrived in the front of the elevator. I looked ahead and saw an automatic door with thick frosted glass. The psych ward lay beyond it. Next to it was a control terminal with an intercom. When visiting, you say your name and have them lock the door from the inside. Damn it. During visiting hours, I'd been sitting in the lobby waiting for the automatic door to open. I tried to see if there was a way to sneak in alongside another visitor, but I'd run out of time before I'd gotten the chance.
Taku, しょうがないよ。
Taku, there's nothing we can do. Let's come back.
Serica must have noticed me staring at it because she motioned for me to leave. Yeah. She was right. If we use the elevator, they might notice the sound. We just have to take the stairs. Hello?
Taku?
Taku?
Serica just stopped just before she reached the stairs.
いや、今、
Just now. Huh? I heard a beeping noise coming from the automatic door. Someone was coming out? I dragged Serica out onto the landing for the stairs. That was weird. I didn't hear any footsteps. Huh? Huh?
嘘。
No way.
I took a look around the corner and saw that the door was open.
なんで
Why? It was definitely open. There was no sign that anyone had come out. I could see deeper into the ward now that the frosted glass was out of the way. The hallway was dark, and it was long past lights out. Why? Why had it opened? Was it just set open automatically from the inside and someone had just walked close enough to trip the sensor? I hadn't seen anyone pass by.
Taku!
I nodded back at Serica as she pointed down the stairs. Someone was coming up. What should we do? There wasn't enough time for the elevator to get here. The lobby was out of the question. Should we go upstairs? Will we be safe if we just walk downstairs and act like nothing was wrong? The dark hallway seemed to be beckoning to me. There were no guards or nurses around it.
Taku!
Aye.
タクル。あなたも他の人たち
Taku, you
は
aren't any different from anyone
た
else.
だの高校生でしょ
You're。just a teenage boy.
I grabbed Serica's hand and ran straight for the open door.
わかんないけどチャンスだ
I don't know what's going on, but this is our chance. Let's go. Serica was behind me, so I couldn't tell if she nodded or not. I ran faster so that I wouldn't have to hear my heart pounding, and a moment later, we were inside the psych ward.